What if I told you that the United States, the land of freedom, once paid taxes to a king across the ocean? Yes, America was once a British possession ruled by a monarch sitting in London. And the story of how it all changed is full of greed, rebellion, war, and a bold declaration that changed world history forever. Stay with me, because by the time you finish this story, you will understand exactly how 13 small colonies broke away from the most powerful empire on earth and won. The story begins in the early 1600s. Britain was looking for new land, wealth, and power. They crossed the Atlantic Ocean and set up their first permanent colony in Jamestown, Virginia, in 1607. Over time, they created 13 colonies along the east coast of North America: New York, Pennsylvania, Virginia, Georgia, and others. These colonies were still under British rule. They had British governors, British laws, and even had to send resources like tobacco, cotton, and timber back to England. America was basically Britain's business investment. For many years, things were okay until Britain got greedy. In the mid-1700s, Britain fought expensive wars in Europe and needed money, so they started taxing the American colonies heavily without asking for their opinion. Some of the most hated taxes were the Stamp Act of 1765, which includes taxes on paper, newspapers, legal documents; the Sugar Act, which includes taxes on sugar and molasses; the Tea Act, which includes taxes on tea. Americans were angry because they had no representatives in British Parliament, so they said no taxation without representation. And here is when things got dramatic. In 1773, a group of colonists in Boston, dressed like Native Americans, boarded British ships and threw an entire shipment of tea into the harbor to protest British taxes. This became known as the Boston Tea Party. Britain was furious and punished the colonies with even stricter laws. That only made Americans more rebellious. By 1775, the tension exploded into fighting. The first battles took place in Lexington and Concord. This was the beginning of the American Revolutionary War. On July 4, 1776, representatives from the colonies signed the Declaration of Independence, officially breaking away from Britain. This document boldly stated that all men are born with rights, kings are not above the people, and America would rule itself from now on. But declaring independence didn't mean that Britain would just let go. The war continued for years. At first, Britain was winning. They had more soldiers, ships, and money. But in 1778, France joined the Americans, supplying weapons, soldiers, and ships to fight Britain, partly for revenge against their old enemy. With French support, the war turned in Americans' favor. If you want to know how Britain and France became old enemies, subscribe and turn on your notification, because I'm going to make a video about that too. The most important battle was the Battle of Yorktown in 1781, where British General Colonise surrendered. Britain realized it couldn't win. So in 1783, the war officially ended with the Treaty of Paris. Britain finally recognized the United States of America as an independent nation. America did not start as a free country. It was a British colony that paid taxes to a king, followed foreign laws, and had no say to its own future. But through protest, rebellion, and a full-scale war, the colonies broke away and became a nation built on idea of freedom and self-rule. This country also went on to become the world power. For more stories like this, do well to like and subscribe. Don't forget to turn on your notification button. Until next time, my name is Thank God, and this is SY Times.